Hey there, so we are live over here at Heather's Hobby Haven. Thank you for joining me today to color this adorable dinosaur. We had a request last month or last week to do a dinosaur, and I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and do that. And of course, my idea of a dinosaur and everybody else's idea of a dinosaur was a dragon. So, but I did find one, and let me tell you, it's not easy to find a cute dinosaur, but I think I did a good job. I think he's totally cute. I put a link down in the description box if you want to head over and grab one up and color along with me. I'm still recovering from my cold that I had last week. So if I start hacking my head off because I now have this silly cough, I have brought some juice. So hopefully we will avoid that, but sometimes you just can't help it. So we're going to be doing the cute little dinosaur. On August 17th, this will be our next class for our card kits. This one is called Emily. Hi Sue, thanks for joining me. So I'm hoping I'm feeling better soon too. I feel a lot better. I've lived on my Dayquil for a week, but I still have this silly cough, and you know how that is. You get to talking and pretty soon you're hacking your head off. Hi Dee, thanks for joining me. So we're gonna do this one on August 17th. Her name is Emily. I have not put her into, I haven't taken a picture of the card kit yet, so I haven't put it into the store. But if you type Emily onto the search bar, it will pop up. It's just hidden. There's no picture yet. She's in there. And I'm also going to do a sale on everything in the store until August 9th. You can get that for 25% off everything in the store. That includes clearance stuff. So if you look through there, there's a bunch of stuff. You're just going to use coupon code SALE25, so SALE25, and you can get 25% off your order. That includes this new kit. And remember, I will load her in after I do the video. I have to take a picture of this, and then I'll have the picture showing. She's in the store, just no picture yet, and she's hidden. So if you type Emily into the search bar, you can find her and order her before we have class on the 17th. Hi, Sue. Hi, Teresa. Thanks for joining me. So anyway, next card kit. Next week, I think we're going to do some kind of watercoloring thing. So I will try to get that worked up in the next day or so and get that posted onto the store blog so that you can see what we're going to do and go get the image or purchase the stamp or whatever it is we decided to do. But anyway, today we're going to do this little cutie, and I can't believe I found him after I spent a couple of hours searching for a dinosaur, but I think he's super cute. So we're going to start out by doing, wrong part. We're going to do the little background here, this squishing thing in the back first, because what I do is I cut out 2 pieces of cardstock the same, and I do the smushing, and then I glue them together because the water kind of warps the paper, and so this helps it be a little bit more stable, and then this can dry smushed together while we're coloring our little dinosaur. So let's put this over here, and this, and also I'm gonna do the little word on the card. It says hello, but I'm going to send this out to a customer for thank you for ordering at my store. So I cut out the word thanks this time, and I double cut it out and then glued it together, and I've already put these little dinky pop dots on the back so you don't have to watch me try to get this stupid paper off the back, because that's always a pain in the fanny. So I already did that. But let's go ahead and we're going to do the smushing on this. So for that, you're going to need, I'm going to use my Tim Holtz craft mat thing here that you can get dirty and it just wipes right off. I have a piece of acetate that I just cut off of a piece of packaging, recycle. Hi Cloud9, thanks for joining me. I do list the, Cloud9, I do list the Copic colors on my blog. So if you go to the store blog and you find this card, you will there's a whole list of the supplies underneath of the post. And there's also a pin card, so you can pin this card with all the colors listed on the side on your pin board, and you can save it, or you can save it and print it out so you have it like a little 4x6 card that you can keep forever and ever and ever. But there is a link down underneath of the blog post showing all the stuff I used to make this little card here, and I really appreciate you shopping with me. And don't forget to use the coupon SALE25 for 25% off. It's SALE25. Okay, so we're going to use this Distress Oxide ink called Spiced Marmalade. And there's also a list below the video, too, of all the supplies I'm going to use. And if I forgot something, I will put it in there afterwards. But before the video, it is posted over on the store blog. So we're going to use this. I got a paper towel to clean up my mess and to wipe off the water splatters. And I'm going to use this little spray bottle to make little ink, little blotches on there. So we're going to go like this, and I'm just going to smush some onto my little mat here. That's why we call it the smushing technique. And then I'm going to spray it. And then I'm going to try not to color my other thing. I'm going to get my piece of acetate, and I'm going to pick that up. And it's okay, there's a bunch on there. If you don't mind. I'm going to move this over a little bit. And then I want my dinosaur to be kind of up a little bit, so I'm going to try to keep my smushing up here in the top part. Okay, so we're going to go like this. And it's got that little blob there, so I'm going to kind of run it. I didn't bring my little blow dryer in here, and I don't want to deal with that, so I'm just going to let it actually naturally air dry. And then I pick up a little bit more. Let's do some up here. And I just touch it on here and make my little spot. And I think I'll bring it down here in a little bit, just down into here. I want my little guy to sit on that spot. And you can make it as messy as you want, or as nice as you want. Let's wipe this off so I don't get that everywhere because I'm messy. I'm going to make a huge mess. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry for just a little bit, and then I'm going to spray it. So we'll come back to this. Let's set it over here so I don't accidentally touch it. Let's wipe this up. Oh. I forgot to turn on the volume. Oh, I thought I forgot. Sorry. My husband came in with the blow dryer. Excuse me. Came in with the blow dryer, and I thought I forgot to turn the volume on yet again. Okay. So let's move all this stuff. Thanks, honey. My little puffer here. Okay, so since he's brought that, let's go ahead and blast it. I forgot I was going to be smushing stuff. And there goes my silly cough. Sorry about that. Yeah, I love it too because it doesn't have to be perfect. But you just smush some on here. And you get a totally different effect if you dry it with the dryer than if you do if you let it... Good heavens. If you let it dry by itself. I'm going to go like this. Because here, I've got a pretty big spot. Mine. But on this one, I kind of got it smushed out there a little bit better. Okay, so now I'm going to take my spritzer bottle, and I'm just going to drop some ink on there, or some water. And this one makes kind of big, depending on how hard you drop you spray the little handle down, it makes bigger drops if you don't spush it as much. And then I let it set for a second. And then I'm going to use my paper towel to blob that up. And it made some nice little splatters. Let's do a little bit more over here in this corner. We'll give it a little bit hardier spray this time. Make a little bit smaller dots. Okay. And then we will use our paper towel to clean that up. And then I'm going to blast it with my heat tool. And with the oxide inks too, you can, they don't get muddy, so you could put a different color if you wanted to put 2 or 3 colors on top of this or another color on top of it. It would just lay on top of this and make it a different color on top. That's what I like about them. They're really nice. And I do have those in the store if you like that. Don't forget to use your coupon. Okay, so see what I mean? It's kind of all just bent. It's terrible. So that's why I always use a second one. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on this and glue it down. And this will help smush it out so it's not all bent. It'll still be a little bit bent, but not like that. You could also do, I know a lot of people do foam, the fun foam stuff. It just seems like every time I go to the store I forget to get some. So I'm going to cheat and just use this. Okay, and then we're going to stick this on here. Line it up. And then we're going to get really technical, and I brought in my acrylic block, so I'm going to go like this. I set it like this, and then I have this giant cup of junk that I set on top of it. So we're going to set all of this over here with the giant cup, and it'll be flat when we come back to that. So now we're going to start with our little dinosaur here. Let's see if we can zoom down a little bit. So we're going to do this little cutie, and there's a link to this little guy down in the description box if you didn't pick him up. And we're going to, excuse me, we're going to start with the green stripes. So he's got some green here on his belly, so we're going to do those first. So for that, we're going to use YG 93, 25, 23, 03, 01, and 21. So let's see if I get my pins turned right direction here. We're going to use these. That's quite a bit, huh, for those 3 little bitty stripes. So we're going to start with our YG 93. And I chose to do this stripe, and then I skipped one, and then I did the 2 bottom ones. This stripe over here has a little bit past his little hand there. I'm going to do that. And then we'll wipe this side. And then I'm going to do down here, but I'm going to bring it a little bit more down along the bottom of his belly down here. Then we're going to do YG 25. And I go over the top of that last YG 93, because this is pretty green and that other one's more of a yellow muted color, greenish. I'm pulling just a little bit past. And I'm going to give it 2 coats. So I'm not going to worry if it doesn't blend out perfect the first time. Then we'll go with YG 23. How many of you are coloring along with me today? And we got YG 03. And then YG 01. Don't forget too, if you have a suggestion for a future live stream video that you would like to do, let me know and I will add it to my list. And then I'm going to go over all of that with my YG 21 because it's really yellow. So I wanted to add that in. And using this really light color too kind of makes it speckled back here in the back. Kind of sucks some of that ink away. Okay, then we're going to do YG 93. D, a shaker card. Okay, I'll add that on my list. I did see a really cute one after we talked the other day. A shaker card. It had a little elephant on there. So we'll see if we can find something to do with that. And I did get some new foam tape too, so that might help out. And we'll do YG25. I did get a couple of new stamp sets in the store this week too, so maybe we could do a shaker card with one of those. One's called Into the Woods, and the other one, oh, the donut one would be really cute. It's called Say Yes to Donuts. YG23. It's got a couple of kids leaning through a donut. That would be kind of cute. And YG03, underwater. I don't know if I have any mermaid. I guess I could find, maybe we could find a digital mermaid that we could do, or a fish that we could do an underwater one. Because I've seen a bunch of little underwater ones too. I just haven't, YG01, picked up any of the smaller stamp sets for that. Trying to decide if anybody's interested in smaller stamp sets. YG21. I'm going to try to make up a couple of examples for those two new ones I got in the store this week, and maybe you guys would like to pick those up and try them out. But the little donut one, I'm like, oh, we're so getting that little donut. There we got our green. The donut stamp set is Say Yes to Donuts, and it's by Neat and Tangled. And there is, it's on the, if you go to the store, it's on the scroll bar at the top of the store. I did add it to that so that I'm kind of on top of it. So next, let's work on our dinosaur. So I did see that cute one, but I don't have the stamps for that, D. So I'm gonna have to go and see. I think that's the one they did with the Craft and Kimmy. I think it was a stamp set that they did with the underwater octopus and what have you. I'll go look again. I think it's still on my phone. I'll find it. I'll come up with something. Don't worry. I found this dinosaur. I spent hours searching for a dinosaur, and this is what I got. The next we're going to do this, the body with these are R60, R56, R85, RV34, RV32, and RV11. I think My Favorite Things does have a donut one. I'm not sure, but this one they have the donut around them and they're leaning out through the hole of the donut. It's really cute. Let's do R56, and I'm going to start over here on his tail. So let's see. Let's do a little bit of our really dark right along the bottom here. So I'm going to kind of go from this little bump. Try not to color his toenail. We're going to go around the toenails. And up here, where it's touching his body. And then I want to do these little lines. Let's go right. Like this. And we're going to give him a couple coats, so don't worry if he doesn't blend right away. We're going to add R85. And brush right over that R56. I just want to soften that up a little bit. and then RV34. So I'm just going over the last two colors, and I'm bringing it out just a little bit past both colors. So I'm filling in a little bit more of my white. And remember, we're going to give it 2 coats, so don't worry if it's not blending. And then we're going to go with RV32. And then we'll do RV11. And see, after all those colors, it does go, it looks a lot more blended, but we're going to add a second coat because I want them to be a little bit pinker. So start with your R56 again, and you're just going to go right over the top of where you put it last time. And then we'll do R85. How are your girls' coloring going along? Or if you're coloring along with me, is it going okay? And RV34. RV32. And then we'll do RV11 over all of those. Pretty good. How's your guys' tail? Undecided? Okay, so now let's start on, let's go down here and we'll do his foot on this side here. So R56. So I want to do a little bit underneath of his arm. And then we're going to go along the back of his body and down this little spot there by his leg. And then we're going to do this little crease, and we're going to come down here. And I'm going to fill in this little section underneath of his leg. That. And then we want to do the bottom of this section of his leg. And then for his foot, let's do this little crease and this crease. Yep. And then this foot's going to be shadowing this way. I'm going to add a little bit right here. Okay, that looks pretty good for a first coat. How's yours going, Dee? Are you coloring a dinosaur too? We got R85. Or maybe the kids are coloring a dinosaur. Did you get the kids a dinosaur? I bring this out just a little bit more. Yep. Then we'll do RV34. Go ahead and fill in that little section right there. And let's bring this up. Okay, it's looking pretty good. RV32. You sent them to another room. The poor children. I know we have both here today. My little Natalie Ann called last night. She wanted to come over, and I'm like, you can't come over, dear, because I have to do live stream tomorrow, and it has to be, you know, not screaming and fighting the whole time. So you're gonna have to wait. So she started this terrible crying. So Grampy went and picked her up. Then we'll do RV11. So she promised she was going to be good. So if you hear any screaming and throwing a fit, it's because that just didn't happen. They're downstairs watching Ponyo. So that's their new favorite movie. And we're going to go with R56 again. So we're going to go with our second coat. I probably should have done this little stripe right here. Oh well. We'll come back for that. R85, 100 times? You've seen Ponyo 100 times? That's quite a few. We've watched it quite a few times. We found it was like, it was free on Showtime or something for a little bit, so the kids got to watch it for a little bit on there, because usually we would just watch Netflix or Vudu or whatever the kids got down there. And they found that, and of course, I'm like, it's ancient. Why isn't it on Vudu or whatever? No, you couldn't find it. So it came on TV the other day, and my husband recorded it so they can watch Ponyo whenever they want. It's RV34. They like it. But I hadn't seen it forever. It's old. And then we got RV32. So that's what they're watching. Wasn't too much fighting over who was going to get to pick. And then we're going to go with RV 67. Or RV11, sorry. 67, I don't even think there is such a thing. And I use this to brush over the entire area. And then let's go over here and we'll do this little stripe right here. I should have done that when I was doing the other part, but I'm going to start with RV, I don't know, I don't think I did that one. I think it was RV32. So let's do RV32. Whoops, colored my finger. And then RV11. All right, we're going to give it a second coat. So do your RV32 a second time. And then RV11. Okay. I got him a little bit darker than I did last time, but that's okay. So let's go. Let's do this little arm here and then this little leg. Thank you, Sue. He's looking not too bad. Then we got R56 again. So let's start up here and we'll do underneath of his face. Since his head's leaning that way, I'm going to bring it over that way. And then let's go right next to, whoops, his arm. Don't color his arm like I did. Then we're going to do for his foot, let's do down here, his leg. Then we'll come down. And then we got to do this little crease. And then I'm going to bring this around the bottom of his foot and up that crease. I'm going to fill in mostly that side because it's going to be darker over there. Then we'll do R85. So for our R85, let's brush a little bit here. And then I'm going to use this, come around his arm. I'm going to finish up the side of his leg. And I'm going to finish off this side of his foot. And then RV34. And let's go ahead and cover this in. Come down by his arm. Do his fingers too. And we'll go with RV32. And then RV11. And remember, we're going to do a second coat, so it's okay that it looks terrible. Because mine looks terrible. That terrible little spot on there. Ew. Okay, so we're going to go with R56. And then we'll add R85. So what have all you girls working on this week? Are you working on anything fun? I haven't accomplished much since I was taking my Dayquil all week, but hoping to get back into the swing of things here this week. It's really not that great being sick. I don't really enjoy that. Although we did take the girls to, we're having the fair here at in our area, the woods. And so we took them there for a day of that. So that was kind of fun. But what are you girls all doing? An RV34. Or working on, or having fun doing. All right, then we're going to add RV32. And then RV11. Stamp organizing. Gee, that sounds like fun. I need to do that. I got some more of my little Avriel stamp pockets in. I ran out. So I got some more of those in. So I need to go finish doing my stamps and putting them all in the little envelopes and labeling them and stuff. I just don't like doing it. It takes forever. Not that I need less stamps. It takes forever to label them. Yeah, summers that I'm actually thankful I've missed the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 sicknesses, so I feel pretty privileged that I lasted this long. My little grandchildren and my daughter are little germ bugs, and they just bring that stuff home, and I've missed it the last few times, and this time it just caught up with me, I guess. Oh no, Sue. Obviously, you don't use your N9 very much if you made a big puddle on your ladybug. That's the pirate. I like it. Oh, mine does that too. And usually it's at the most inconvenient time, like when I'm just got finished and it makes a big blob on there. So I've been there. I know what that's like. So we're going to go up here and we're going to work on his face. Don't be discouraged. You can do it over. R56. That reminds me. Trish shared hers that she colored last week, so I'm gonna I saved it. I haven't had a chance yet, but I'll put it on the blog this week, and we can all make sure to go over to the blog and leave Trish a comment saying how cute her image is, because she kindly shared her card that she colored with us. So now we're gonna do our R56, and let's do right up here where his eye is touching his little scale or his spike. And then we're going to bring it down. And then over here, right where his eye goes up. And let's go right next to his little spike. And then I want to bring all of this. There's some lines here. Let's go down this line. And add a little bit in there like that. And then for his eye, this little part that's puffing up here. I do that too, Sue. I remove both caps when I tend to get a little crazy when I fill mine up, so I know what it's like to... Everybody's like, you should weigh those when you do it. I'm like, oh no, you just strip it in there, it'll be fine. And I constantly fill them too far up. And they make a big mess. And if I was paying attention, I might catch it more, but no. And go down like this. And then I want to do right here beside his mouth a little bit. Like that. We got R85. That's a good idea, Cloud9. And my daughter, my one granddaughter though, she lives with us. We adopted her, Lexi. She's now our daughter. And then the other one, Natalie, she spends, I don't know, 3 days. She usually comes after school. She has summer school. She's going to school during the summer to keep her used to going to school. So she usually comes over Friday night after school and then stays until Sunday. And if you tell her no, she cannot come over, the poor child has a breakdown, and it's not pretty. So she loves coming here. She never wants to go home. She always wants to come here and play. I think it's because Lexi's here and she has someone to play with, so it gives her something to do. Then we're going to do R85. She doesn't have really any kids there where they live, so. And we go do things. So it's always fun to go to Grammy's house. Okay, then we're going to go over. I'm going to bring this eye thing down. I want to go over the top of the eye. And then I want to go underneath the line just a little bit. And then I'm going to brush this down here. I'm going to try not to color outside the lines. I'm a crazy colorer. And let's see, let's bring this out. Here's a little bit of bumps right here. So let's bring this out a little bit more. Okay. We might bring it out more once we do our second coat. Now we'll do RV34. I'm going to go ahead and fill in above his eye. I'm going to try not to color the white of his eye. That does happen. I guess I didn't color his eyeball. I should have done that, huh? Okay, then we're going to brush this round over here. I'm going to go ahead and connect it to this. And let's see, let's go up here. Let's do this. Let me turn my guy a little bit. Hi, Christina. Thanks for joining us. And thank you. Are you coloring along with us today? If you guys missed it, there's a link down in the description box of the little dinosaur if you want to pick him up and color him later. If you're not doing it during the live stream, you can go grab him up. I'm going to go ahead and go around his nose here. And I'm thinking that I'm going to bring this over even with this. Kind of fill in a little bit of that. It looks silly. Then we'll do RV32. And I'm going to fill in up here above his eye. And then for his face down here, let's go fill this in. And then let's brush down past his nose and bring this down in here. Okay. And we're going to go with RV11. Try not to color his teeth. Okay, so there's the first coat. Doesn't he look terrible? So we're going to add and make him better by adding a second coat. Then we got R56. I used to be that way too. Every time, when we first, the grandkids, we first started going to school a couple of years ago, it was like every time they came home I was sick. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And then I kind of missed it here for a while. For last year I didn't get that sick, and then I missed the last few times this last time, and this time it just whammo. Ah, bedtime in Sweden. You're a ways off. R85. Well, I'm glad you stopped by to watch me color before bedtime. Okay, so we're gonna add this. If we can soften some of this up. Pull this out this way a little bit more. Actually, let's go with our R56. Let's do a little dab here inside of his nose. Otherwise, I'm going to forget. Next, we're going to do RV34. So if it looks messy after a second coloring, do you do it a third? I do. I go over it again. Then we're going to go with RV34. You got to remember too, when you're coloring, I know it seems like probably on the video it seems like I'm really pressing down onto the paper and smushing my pen on there, but I try to not bend the end of my nib. So I want it to just float across the top of the paper and add some color. And I'm just barely touching the paper. I don't want it to be sucking, because the minute your pen touches that paper, it's sucking it up. So I try to use the least amount as possible. Really light, feathery, strokey strokes. Flicking, I don't know what some people call it flicking, but just try to use a little bit of pressure. You don't want it to bend. Then we'll go with RV32. If you're pushing so hard that your nib is bending, that you're pushing too hard, it should not be bending. And I choose, see, so now I've already done this color over here, and I don't need color over here. I use this pen to go over it the second time so that it will soften that color out. And right along here, we're going to brush down away from that color. I'm going to go over his nose. So see here, it's still looking a little blotchy there on the end of his nose, but let's add RV11. I'm trying not to brush on his teeth. So up here where it's looking a little blotchy, so if I start up here and I pull this down, I'm just going to go and brush right over his nose. That will soften that up. So let's give it a second here to dry a little bit. Let me move my pen. And then I'm going to start up here where I probably have, what is it, RV34. And then just lightly run my pen across the paper. And I still have a little bit of a line there. Let's see how smooth it looks. It looks so much better. You could also do another coat of RV32. So start up here, we have your RV34. And lightly pull it down. And I'm just, remember, barely touching that paper. That'll soften that just a little bit more. And then you do another coat of your RV11. That kind of smooths it out there. So there's our dinosaur. So let's do inside of his mouth in here. So let's see, what do we need for that? We need, RV30, or R30, EO4, RV32, and R20. Try doing just really light strokes. Like I said, barely touch that paper, just kind of like you're brushing a little baby chicken's fur or a little baby duck. Their fur's so soft and fuzzy, and you just want to barely stroke it across the top of to feel how fuzzy it is. Kind of like that. The pin's just barely stroking across the top of that paper. So we're going to go with R30 for inside of his mouth. So I just colored it in here, going around his little teeth. And there's a little bit of his inside of his mouth showing right here by his teeth over this side. I'm going to give it a second coat to darken it up. And then for his tongue, we're going to start with EO4. Whoops, turn it around. And then I used that back here in the very back and just down this line. And then I went over that with RV32. And then I want to extend it, so let's go past where we colored it before. And then we'll go over both of those with our R20. And I want to give that a second coat too. And then we'll go with EO4. You just don't realize how, I mean, the minute your pen touches that paper, it's really sucking up ink. So that's kind of how I judge it. So I do my RV32 next. And then I don't want it to be sucking all my ink up, so I just barely touch it. Because it's sucking it up no matter how hard you touch it. It's just the harder you push, the more it's sucking up. And we'll do R20 again. I know they used to say that, you know, you're doing really good if it's soaking the back of your paper. So here's the back of my paper. I remember they used to tell you, oh, it should be all, and I probably got a little too much right here because see how much you can see back there? I go by, yes, it's going to suck up paper because these are pretty saturated colors. So you've got the dark green here at the end that's really dark. And then you got this R56 over here that's pretty dark. But even up here, you can just barely see it through the paper. So it gets kind of coated on the top of there. If this was all like saturated on the back, it would bleed out through the lines and it's just harder to blend. So that's kind of how I judge mine, is if I got crazy on the back, I use too much pressure. So kind of use that as your guide. That's kind of what I go with. So I'm going to flip it back over. And then we are going to do his spikes. So for his spikes, we are going, let's do his teeth. So for his teeth, we're going to use E41 and the Colorless Blender. So I didn't do anything fancy. Do E41. For his teeth, I just kind of flicked up a little bit from the bottom, and I didn't go all the way up. I just did a little dab. Like these bigger ones, obviously, you're going to do a little bit more. But I left them white at the top. And this one here in the front, you can see the back. So I'm going to color the back all the way in. And I colored this back side of this one all the way in. Oh, look there, Sue. I'm making a mess. See? Oh, that's terrible. I filled this one evidently. Here, let's wipe that off. See, so you're not the only one. I think this is one of the ones. Oh, this is one of the ones. Yeah, I changed the nib on the other end. You can now get a fine tip down here for the brush side, or for that broad stroke thing that was there. I hated that. I never used it. So I'm in the process of changing all mine to this little pointy one. But I refilled it too far. Okay, so anyway, we'll fix that in a second. We're going to finish doing our teeth. I hope it doesn't do it again. And as soon as I get the little, this end down here is on back order. So as soon as I get some more of these in, I'm going to do a new video on how to clean it, take this out, replace it, stuff like that. But I have to wait for this little nib to come back off of back order. Okay, so now I'm going to take my colorless blender and I'm just going to wipe over a little bit over that edge where it goes to white. And evidently this tooth right here is just going to be extra brown. Okay, so this right here, so I've got my big blob there. Let's see if we can fix this little spot right here. So let's grab RV32. Oh, what was that? 32? 11. We're gonna fix it, Sue. It'll be fine. I seen it coming before it got too big. Okay, so that wasn't dark enough. So let's go RV34 and blend over this. Okay. And then we'll do the RV30, no, not 11, RV32. And RV11. And then what was in here? R30 was inside his mouth. So let's see if we can do a little bit of that right in here. We can pink it up a little bit. Not going to be perfect, but so there, we've kind of fixed the little blob. Not too noticeable, just a little bit, but in his teeth down here, you kind of see it, but we're going to go with that. I'm okay. So see, it happens to everybody, that blobbing thing. The next, we're going to do his toenails and his spikes, and we're going to use E30 and 50. So let's start with E30. And let's do his toenails down here first. So I didn't do anything, again, anything too fancy. I'm just going to go from the bottom and just kind of brush up a little bit. Down where they connect to his body. Same down here. Well, this one I painted pink, so. And then I colored these in. Those are too small. And then down here, since this one is leaning over the top of it, I've colored this one mostly in. Go this way. I kind of leave the peaks white. And same for this. Let's brush this out quite a bit. And then we'll do E50. Just going to finish coloring his toenails in. Then we'll go up here and we'll color in his spikes. You can also leave some of it white if you want to leave them kind of shiny on the ends. Highlights. Like that. Christina, what's so disturbing? Hi, Lauren. Thanks for joining us. Are you coloring along with us today, or are you just watching? It is disturbing. That little, I'm hoping you're saying the disturbing is the little big blob. I hate that thing. So last time I did not color his little eyeball up here on mine, but I think I'm going to color that in. So let's go with YG93. He's going to have green eyes. I should probably just fix my card here. Let's fix the card too. Do two at once. Okay, 93, and then let's see. How about, what's this? YG03. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, that looks pretty good. Okay, let's color the card. And here on my card, I've got pink on here. So let's, when you do your, if you get somewhere you don't want it, if you take your Color the Splendor, and don't set it on the spot, but kind of on the other side, and then let the ink pool. The pool will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it will push the ink out that way. That makes sense. The blob. Okay, that's what I thought you were talking about. I hate that when it happens, and it happens to me a lot. So we've got YG93 again. So you girls know it happens to everybody, that blobbing. And then we'll fill it in here with our YG03. So there we have, I am Lauren, I am using Copics. But you could use whatever markers, pencils, or whatever you wanted to color your dragon, or your, sorry, dinosaur. It's a dinosaur today. So there's our guy all colored up. Didn't he turn out fabulous? Love him. So now we're going to put our card together. And just to save time today, and because I thought I would be coughing my head off, I cut mine out. I colored him already, another one, and cut him all the way out. But let me fix this guy's little eye, because I was afraid I'd start coughing and then cut his head off. So I colored one ahead of time and cut him out. I cheated. I'll still cut the other one out. I'll just put him on another card, and that's going in someone's order, saying thank you. So I try not to make it too complicated. So you've got the card base. Make sure that it opens the way that you want. Oh, here, let's zoom up. Card base, so you don't have to do that. And I changed my saying to thanks. Remember, I used two thanks cut out and then put them together so they'd be a little bit thicker. And then we got our smushing piece over here. And there, we've got this piece that we smushed while we were watching the video, and look how flat that is. Perfect. So nothing too spectacular. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to pop it up, just so in case it's not all the way flat, it will have a little bit of give there, because we're going to pop it up, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Get off there. Pop Dots hate me, I swear they do. They just do not cooperate. And let's put a couple over here on the side too. Actually, since I'm popping it up, let's go all the way around. That will kind of help some of the warping if it has any. Like this. Okay. And you gotta rip all this stuff off. Get rid of all this stuff. Okay. And be careful with your orange here that you've got, because I have a little bit here on my hand from touching the card, so be careful of that. So we're just gonna put this on here. Oops, not there. Got it going wonky here. Okay, try to get it straight. Okay, like this. And then I want to pop up my little dinosaur. So let's give him a couple of pop dots. Like so. Okay. Then you gotta deal with the paper on the back again. Okay. And let's see. I kind of have a wonky on mine, so let's go. How about, like, let's kind of, don't put him, I'm not going to tap him all the way down because I want to see where my thanks is going to go. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now mush him. And then I cheated too and put the pop dots on the back of this because I used the side of this thing here to cut up and stuck it on there so I don't have to chop them up. I cheated. I can admit it. I use all that popped up stuff up every time. It goes on something. Get off there. Oh, heavens. I hate this paper stuff. Okay. Then we're going to put that. Oops, wait a minute. So since I have my T here's up a little bit further, I want it to go down below the guy so he doesn't get stuck on there. Like so. This will be going into someone's order this week, so if you want to head over there and grab something from the store, don't forget to use coupon code SALE25 for 25% off. And you may get this card or this cute one here that I colored. I'm going to put him together too. He could end up in your card kit or in your order. Don't forget, we're going to be doing Emily. This is our next card kit we're going to do on August 18th. So if you want to pick her up, you make sure to use your coupon and then pick her up, and if you order soon, it will go out in the mail to you and you'll have it in plenty of time for you to color along with me doing the card kit. Next week, I'm going to try and do something watercoloring, and I will get that posted on the store blog in the next day or so that you'll know what we're going to do. So you can go pick up the digital image or the stamp set or whatever it is I'm going to be using. I don't know yet. I haven't really gotten that far. Otherwise, we will do all that. So you girls have any questions? Thanks, everybody. I think it turned out pretty cute for a dinosaur. There are a million dragons. Just so you know, if you want to color a dragon card, there are a million stamps for that. You want a dinosaur? Not so much. Or they weren't cute. I didn't find them cute. Excuse me. So, but make sure you leave me, if you're watching this later, make sure to leave me a comment down in the doodly-doo down there in the bottom to say what you want to do, and I will add it to my list of things that we are going to work on. And I take suggestions, and I'm willing to try something new. If you want to try something and I haven't done it, that's fine. I can look silly. I don't mind. So just leave it down in the comments. Oh, don't forget to hit the like button if you're watching the video. You made it this far, you must have liked it. So make sure to hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure and do that so that you can see all my new videos. I try and do a live stream every Thursday at noon. So every other Thursday we do a card kit from the store because it's summertime and I don't have time to spend doing all that. And then every other week, every other opposite week, we do something different. So a digital image, watercoloring, stuff like that. But I take suggestions, so make sure to I love weed stamps too. Make sure to leave a comment down below if that's what you want to do. You can also leave a comment just saying hi. I'm okay with that too. And I try to get back to everybody. So if you have a question, make sure to, let me know down below and I'll make sure to get back to you on that. So I hope you girls all had fun coloring today. I really appreciate you stopping by. Don't forget to head over to the store and use your SALE25 coupon for 25% off. I really appreciate you shopping with me. It helps me out a lot. Otherwise, we will see you, if you want, you can watch Bible journaling tonight at 7:30. We are going to be working on Illustrated Face. I am day 5. I want to say day 5. So we're going to be doing that tonight at 7:30 Pacific time if you want to hang out and do that. And it's going to be pretty fun because I haven't even looked at it and I have no idea what I'm going to be doing. So I'll be calling you in a bit, Dee, to see what your ideas are, or texting you. Hi, Flying Kitty. Glad you could join us. We're just finishing up. So thanks, everybody. I hope you're having a great day, and I'm hoping not to be coughing next week when I show up for our live stream at noon. Otherwise, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day, and I'll see you again later tonight. Bye.